is Madison Palmer, and I'm going to be talking about the Nevada test site and the Area 51 nuclear bombings. Many people don't know what this is, never heard about it. So why is it so important? In 1957, the U.S. Department of Defense realized in only a matter of time there would be an airplane with an atomic bomb crashing into American soil, causing a radioactive disaster. That organization decided they wanted to test the scenario first to see what damage it would do and if it was controllable. However, they wanted no one, including any of the public, to know about it. The Armed Forces Special Weapons Project suggested Area 51 as the best spot because it was off of the Nevada test site where no one was around, and it would be kept in secrecy there. This is one of the most famous yet secretive military institutions in the United States. Many people believe they were storing aliens. However, they did have to eventually admit to their operations with the test. If you research about this, that's the main thing, is the conspiracies of the aliens. Where was it located? It was in Nye County, Nevada. There's a test and training range. Within that range is the United States Air Force Base, and it has a small facility, which is Area 51. The main plan of this project, they named it the Project 57. The Atomic Energy Commission, the U.S. Air Force, and the U.S. National Defense Contractor all come together and made up a plan that they would cause an Air Force plane carrying a nuclear warhead to crash into the ground, spreading radioactive materials into the ground in the air. The surrounding land would be contaminated with the element plutonium. No scientist or being knew what would happen if it came in contact with other beings or anything in the path of it. From there on out, there were many other different tests, including bombs, tanks, and so forth. The people who work on the base and the test site are the most likely group of people to be affected by these tests, but of course, since they were involved in it, they knew all the precautions, all the safety risks. But not only them, the surrounding population of Nye County could be in harm because the radioactive material can spread and it's very dangerous if you come in contact with it. Not only can it negatively impact their health, as the video will show later that in the PowerPoint, it can also destroy property, and then people are left with nothing. There are many different costs in the ending of this experiment. The construction of Area 51 and all the areas surrounding it, estimated at about $832,000. The cleanup cost, the investigation and criteria analysis cost $500,000. The equipment to actually remove the contaminated soil was $1,250,000. Actual decontamination was $2,500,000. And from there on out, each year, the removal of extra soil was also $2,500,000 each year. People contaminated have to get scrubbed and completely rinsed after coming in contact with any chemical. The volume of contaminated soil estimated at about 10-year length to complete the cleanup and decontamination. So, it spread a lot into the ground. It was very serious. The Air Force was responsible for either decontaminating the area or leaving it alone. A radiation survey of the whole facility and surrounding area had to be done. Structures and equipment had to be sufficient to monitor radioactivity, and the security had to be sufficient to prevent more entry or people coming into the area. The ground that was contaminated was fenced off and has since been decontaminated. If it spread any farther, the plutonium would have instantly caused someone to die. However, there are no mortality rates from cancer or any other radioactive elements in this event. The only deaths recorded from the Nevada test site are the pilots that risked their lives for the U.S. Air Force and the United States in this project to help determine the danger that could potentially happen someday whenever the plane does crash into American soil. Although the Atomic Energy Commission was a part of developing the plan, they were still there in the end to help control what radioactivity they could. The Department of Energy Nevada operations sought the funding for the decontamination of the area and withdrawing it from service. The Surplus Facilities Management Program was used to eliminate the public and environment from very hazardous outcomes. The Department of Energy had to go through this program to get permission and fundings to close down Area 51 so that they could decontaminate it. The role of media. The Civil Defense Administration created films to educate and inform Americans on what precautions and safety risks if they were ever to be in an event of a nuclear attack. After the project was known to the public and cameras were allowed on the site, they broadcasted the nuclear tests, and it became a huge fascination to the public, which led advertisers to start creating atomic and nuclear merchandise, which I think this is a negative aspect because it was like they were promoting the nuclear attacks instead of promoting the safety for it. The National Response Framework can be applied to this event in many ways. The engaged partnership, although no one knew what the outcome of the tests were going to be, the U.S. Air Force and the Atomic Energy Commission worked together. They were all well trained and had everything planned out and organized the best they could in advance of the incident. Tirade response. The Department of Energy and the Surplus Management Program laid out plans of how long it would take to clean up different parts of the area and how much it would cost. The scalable and flexible operational compatibilities. Although the likelihood of those radioactive elements spreading farther into the public area or doing more damage could have been much more worse, all of these organizations were prepared and trained to provide safety and respond no matter how big or complex the outcome was. The unity of effort through command. All organizations coordinated with each other and support each other's plans. They all have their own responsibilities, though. The Atomic Energy Commission controls the nuclear power during and after. The Department of Energy helps protect the public and let them know they are safe. Readiness to act. While this project was unknown to the public, people noticed and heard the blast, became concerned. Those that were involved were prepared from the beginning to examine how far and how much damage these tests produced, and therefore to decontaminate afterwards. The Atomic Commission group sent out an announcement to the surrounding areas to assure safety and let the public know what they were doing and how they were dealing with the situation. One ethical dilemma is that there is no solution for nuclear waste disposal. Nuclear reactors, which are materials made to undergo nuclear reactions and release the energy, produce about 130,000 cubic meters of low-level radioactive waste and 13,000 tons of high-level radioactive waste. Since there's no definite waste disposal, they can stay radioactive for thousands of years, possibly affecting thousands of people. The government should always require full disclosure and communication to the public. They should let it be known all the risks and precautions for their safety. However, sometimes that's kept quiet, which is not a good thing. I have a video at the end of this PowerPoint that you can watch. It's about a family who lived on the Groom Lake, which is around the Area 51, and for many years while they were testing these nuclear bombs, it affected their property really bad, and the Air Force would not let them go to the media about it or to anybody, and they finally did. Showed how much damage it did to their property and to their lives. And then the resources are at the very end of my PowerPoint. Thank you for watching.